In this video, I'll be showing you how to design an interior of your building using Revit. Without wasting your time, let's jump into it on how we can use Revit to produce this type of interior design. Alright, so I'm inside the Revit now, and this is the floor plan of the particular room that I showed you before, and I want to start creating the interior, and this is the room I've picked to produce the interior design of this particular room. Now I need to see the inside of the building, inside of the room, and if I show you the 3D, this is the 3D of the whole design, and the room we are looking at is somewhere here. The room is somewhere here on the second floor. So for me to be able to see that room into detail, I need to crop this 3D view so that I'll be able to see the room I am looking at in 3D view proper. So I will go to 3D. Let me delete all this one for now. These are the ones I've used before. Let me delete this and start it afresh. Okay, so this is the default 3D. I am not going to tamper with this. I will create a duplicate of this, and I will use duplicate with detailing. Okay, now that I have a copy of my 3D, I am going to be modifying this anyhow I want it. So I will right click on one of the faces, any of the faces. Then I will go down and look for orient to view, and I will take it to elevation. I will take it to rear elevation. It depends on the names you give your elevation. Whichever name you give your elevation, just make sure you are in that particular elevation. So I am going to crop this to where I want to view, so that the view will not be too much for me. I can clearly see what I am working on at a glance. Okay, then I am going to shrink this side so that I can see that room. I think I'm beginning to see the room. Okay, so this is the room we are looking at, and this is it here. Okay, this is it here. The first thing we may need to create is the POP. Undo. Okay, so we are seeing this wall here, and this wall is not supposed to be seen. So I am going to select those ones that are showing ugly, and right now the base constraint is level 3A, so I'm going to take it up a little bit. By the way, my level 3A is a summit of this slab, and level 3, which is the third floor, is the floor of the third floor. If I show you my section, assuming I cut section through that place, you see what I'm talking about. Let me create a new section. I'll cut a cross section across here, and I will go to view. Okay, now you can see, let me reduce the scale to something like 100. Okay, let me still reduce it further to something like 50. All right, so if I click on one of these and take it up, or this one and take this one up, so that I can see the one I'm dealing with. Okay, so you can see this is the slab of third floor, and this is the level that applies to the top of the slab, and this is another level that applies to the surface, that is the under of the slab. So now we can go to, with this you now know what I'm talking about now. So if I go to that 3D view, and this is those walls that I don't want to see on the under of my slab, so I'm going to select them and take them up a little bit. Right now they are lower, so I will push them up by taking them to third floor and hit apply. Okay, that way they have disappeared. Okay, so we have now cleared those walls off. Then the next thing is we want to create our POP design. Whichever POP design you have in mind, you are a designer, so you can produce it. So I am going to use the type I have here for the purpose of this tutorial. So what I will do now is I will go to the ceiling level. Let me hide all this one. I don't need all this one now. Okay, so I will go to ceiling level and expand it. Then I will go to second, because I'm on second floor. Then I will go over that particular room. This is the room. Then I will now pick, you can use anything. You can use casework, you can use floor to do it, you can use ceiling to do it, whatever appeals to you that I want to use. In my own case, I will prefer to use ceiling. I don't have any reason for that, but I just want to use that. Then you just sketch and pick the whole of that room. Let it cover the whole of the room, and I don't need to finish it now. Then I will pick another one which will form the recess. Then I will extend it from the wall by about 1200 mm. Or 1500 mm. Let's see which one works better. 1500 mm. 1500 mm. Okay, this is not bad. So then we have this little design here. and we'll try and produce that. All you need to do to produce that is simply pick a rectangle tool and draw, and we are going to use trim to trim this. No, before I trim, let me mirror it first so that I will still have my reference, my center reference for me to use in mirroring it, because once I trim I will not have all those ones again. So I will mirror it to this left hand side, then I can now start trimming. I will start trimming like that. Okay, I'll trim it like that. Alright, so here is your design, and for the materials we are going to edit it and we'll duplicate it so that it will not replace our default ceiling material. We'll name it as POP and hit OK. Then under the value we will hit edit. Now you can see it has 2 layers. The first layer is the structural, while the second layer is the finishes. Whether we leave it at 1 layer, it doesn't matter much. So I will leave it at 1 layer and remove this. Then this layer, the thickness of this layer will be 100 mm, and the material, I will click on this space to get our material. Then I will duplicate this material and name it as POP. Let's see whether it will work. Oh, I already have the name before. Okay, since I have the name before, let me look for it and select that POP. Let's look for P. Okay, here it is here. Okay, so this is the POP, and you may want to select the color, depends on your rendering. If you are using Revit to render it, then you can focus on the color here. But if you are using Lumion to render it, then the color you select here does not matter much. By the way, if you want to get access to my tutorial on how to use Lumion, I'm going to leave the link to that tutorial in the description of this video. So just click on it and get it. So if you want to render it with Lumion, then the color you choose here does not matter much. You can modify it there. Okay, having done that, you hit up and you click OK. And if you click OK, you finish it, and you can check this mark. Then we want to see the level it is at this moment. You can select, if you select it now, you can see the height from the level, which is second level, is 2600 mm. But let's confirm the height of our headroom first so that we can know what should be the height of the POP. Then if I add dimension, you can see our POP is 100 mm. Then the distance between the POP and the slab, the third floor slab, is 500 mm here, but I will take it to 100 mm. Okay, so let's see what we have in 3D. Let's see what we have in 3D. We have three types of 3D here. This is the default, which will show the full building, and this is the copy, which will only show the interior of the building we are working on. So this is it here. We now have our POP. So we have two colors here. So let me change it. I want to change this color to bear the same thing here. So I will simply select this floor and edit type. Then go to under edit here. You can see I have two layers here. The layer below is the POP and the layer above is the floor. In other words, this is the POP for the floor that is below that slab, and this is the floor for the main floor. Because by the time you are going to render it, if you leave it at only floor material, then you are assuming you have to finish that floor, this particular floor, with tiles. You wouldn't want to see tiles under the floor that is below. So under here, I want to see POP. I don't want to see tiles here. But on the floor that is above it, I want to be seeing tiles, and that is why we have two layers here. So, and I have given them name accordingly. You can see this one is POP. This one is POP, and the color should be off-white, not completely white, but something close to white. And hit apply, then okay. I think we'll have the same color now. Okay, and the floor, you see the color of the floor above it is different, while the color under it is different, because we have two layers. Okay, if that is gotten, then the next thing you will want to have is we want to have those spotlights, like you are seeing here, this spotlight. How can you create this spotlight? Let's try and fix it. To create that spotlight, what I normally do is I use family to create it. I use Revit family to create that. I have already created one, but let me show you how to do that. You simply go to application menu, you go to new, then you go to family, then you are going to select light fixtures. There are many reasons why you need to do this. Very, very important, especially if you are using Lumion. So you select it. Later you will understand why using family to create this is important. I will not be able to explain the full detail now, but as you follow along with me, you will understand. So I'm going to click open. Now if you open, we are going to select extrusion, and we are on the reference level. So I will, assuming we want our spotlight fixture to be cylindrical in shape, then I will simply select. And before I continue, you can see This dimension is giving me is is an imperial system, and some people are not too familiar with imperial system. A lot of people are familiar with metric system, which is millimeter and meters. So I want to convert this file, the dimension of these files, to metric system. So to do that, you go to the tab here and you select manage, then you select project unit, and the length should be in millimeters, and hit apply. And once you hit apply, it has changed the system, the units of this system. By the way, this is the family we are working. We want to use this family to create light fixtures that will be on the ceiling. Okay, so I can select this. You can now see that the radius of D is 200 mm. So this is too much. The size of spotlight fixtures on the POP should not be more than 150 mm. The diameter should not be more than 150 mm. So if a cycle is 150 mm diameter, then the radius should be 75 mm. So I'm going to leave it as 75. Okay, so this is, then we are going to create a second cycle. To create the second cycle, we can offset this, and we may not be able to figure out what the dimension should be, so that is why I select graphical. So I'm not too concerned about what the thickness is now. Okay, if we leave it at 8 mm, it's not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to finish this. Then let me select the material. The material should be, we'll name it as spotlight body, and I will hit apply. Okay, so that is the height, that is the material. Then the height, we can determine the height from here. The height should not be more than the thickness of the slab, so that it will not show on the second floor, it will not show on the floor that is above it. So let's leave the height at 100 mm. Then we hit save. We'll check that mark. Then if we check that mark, we'll go to 3D and see what we have just produced. Okay, this is it here. It's just a simple cylinder. Then we go to the front view. Okay, here it is here. Now we want to create something that will make it look like this is the face, the lighting face that look like a dome, something that will look like a dome. To be able to create something that will look like a dome here, you go to create, then you will use revolve. Then you are going to select the axis. You will draw the axis. The axis should be here. Then we will now use boundary line to draw it. I will simply pick a line first, and I will not take it exactly to the center line. I'm going to leave a small gap between the center line, because sometimes it always gives trouble if it is exactly on the axis. So I will better leave it very close, but not too wide and will show that there is an opening there. Okay, so I am going to pick an arc. Then I will draw. I want to make here to look like is a curved face. I want to make it look like it's a curved face. I don't like it. Let me delete that. Let me start from here, somewhere here, and somewhere here. Okay, this one is better than the one before. Then I will close this and make sure the sketch is closed. Okay, if you have done that, then the material should be light. It should be something that will produce light. I will name it as light. If you are using Lumion, you will learn how to make it emissive. You will learn how to make this particular one emissive in Lumion. Now we have made this material to look like is a light face. Let's look at it in 3D. You can see, if I use it as shaded, now you will see properly. You see, it's looking like is a real light. Okay, then there is another thing we need to create, which is if you look at this, you see that there is something like looking like a rim around the lighting around that dome. There is something like look like a rim. I used to call it shader, so I don't know the name you call it, but I used to call it shader. Then I will go there. What can we use to create that type of impression? We can use sweep to create that. If you have been following my tutorial, you will know that we can use a sweep, solid sweep, to create that. Okay, you go to one of the elevation and you are going to pick create. You will pick sweep, and we need to sketch the part first. We need to sketch the part on the floor level, and to sketch the part you can pick let me get out first. I started wrongly. Quit. Yes, I'll quit it. Okay, so I need to start this type of sweep. I need to start from the floor plan. So I will be on the floor plan first, then go to create and select sweep, then select part. You can pick a cycle, or let's select let's draw just a line first, so that we can use this to create our profile. Then I will finish it and go to edit profile. I will go to front view. Then I'm going to draw my profile. The profile should extend a little bit above a little bit wider than the body of the light itself. You can make some part of it to be curved so that it will look interesting. Then you can be creative with it. You can add some recess. Okay, so that is the cross section. Then the material should be, I will give it a different material, and I'm going to name it as shader. Then the color, it depends on whether you are rendering with Revit. The color does not matter much if you are going to render with Lumion. So I will apply and click. Then let me finish it. Okay, now we have created our profile. Now we want it to go around the light body. So I'm going to select it and hit edit sweep. I'll go to sketch part. Then it will take us to the floor plan. So instead of this straight line, I'm going to pick the cycle itself so that it will go around the cycle, and I will finish it. Now let's look at it. Oh, it's going inward instead of outward. So let's make it go outward. To make it go outward, you will edit this. You will edit the profile. So you just bring your cursor here. You see that the profile is indicating here. Then you go to edit, and you can go to any of the appropriate elevation that shows that particular profile. Okay, it is the left that is showing it proper. So what I'm going to do is I will mirror it to go the reverse side. So I've reversed it. I think this one is too big. You can reduce it a little bit so that it do not affect the scale. Let's see, what do we have? We have 15 mm. So 15 mm is not too bad. 15 mm is not too bad. So I can now finish it. I'll finish it. If I finish it, let me see how it looks in the 3D view. I think it's not bad. It really look like light. Okay, so then let me save this. Let me save it. I will hit file, save as, family. Then I am going to save it. I will give it a name as spotlight. Then the option should be 1 so that it will not load my system. Because if you select 3, it is going to have 3 backups, and those backup will be always heavy. I don't want it. Then I'm going to load into the project. Now I have loaded into the project, so I can now bring in and put it where I want it to be. Okay, for me to do that, let me go to the appropriate floor plan. I'll go to the appropriate floor plan. This is the floor plan I'm working on, which is the second floor. Then I'll bring in that light I've just created. Okay, we have not saved our project. Let's save it. If you want to receive more video like this, make sure you subscribe, to my channel so that whenever I upload another video like this, you will be notified that hey, Arctim Consult has uploaded another video, and you will watch it and help yourself. Okay, now this is it here. Let's look at the height. We can know the height from here. Now if you select it now, you will see it is in second floor, and the height at this moment is, you can see the height is, the offset is 0, which means it is sitting on the slab. And let's confirm this. If we go to this section, you will see that it is actually sitting on the ground. You can see it's sitting on the floor, but we want it to go and stay on the ceiling. We want it to go and stay on the ceiling. Why am I seeing only one? I'm supposed to see two. Where is the second one? Okay, let's go back. Okay, now this is the second one, and this is the, now I want to move it up. To move it up, just select move to, and you can pick it from this edge and simply push it up, and here you go. Okay, now we want to position it. We want to position it properly to sit well. To do that, you go to ceiling level. You go to ceiling level, then you go to second floor. You can now see those spotlights, so I will move them to where I want them to be. I will move them to where I want them to be. I will move them to where I want them to be. Okay, or simply let me delete this because I want them to be identical. Okay, to make it identical, I'm going to mirror this to this side. Then I will now select this and mirror it to the other side. That way they are exactly identical. It is better than picking them differently. Okay, then we may want to have a central one at the center here, so I'm simply going to select one of them and put it at the center. Then how are we sure that it is at the center? We can use a line tool. Let me use a reference plane to make sure it is actually at the center. Okay, now I can align or simply move it. Okay, so it is exactly at the center. Then you can see, because this one is supposed to be higher than these ones, because this one is inside the recess. You can see what I'm talking about. If you view it in 3D, you see that this one are aligning properly, but this one is projecting. But we need it to go and flush with this particular wall, so we need to go to our section. We need to go to our section and do that. Where is the section? Let this section focus on it. Then we'll go to it. Then we go to that particular floor. Here is the floor. Then I'm going to move it up so that it will align with this particular slab. Okay, so I think it should be proper now. Let's view it in 3D and see what we are talking about. Okay, very good. Fine, it is fine. Okay, so we have created our spotlight using families. We have created it. Then the next thing we will need to have, what else do we need to have? We need to have this is a wardrobe. This is the there's a wardrobe here. If you have if you go to the floor plan, you see that we have a plan to have a wardrobe here. So you can use the family to create wardrobe, but I don't want to spend time creating wardrobe. Yeah, if not, this video is going to be excessively long, and creating family is not actually the focus of this video. So what I will do is I'm going to bring in a wardrobe that I created using families. And if you want me to create a video on how to create wardrobe using families, let me know in the comment section, and I will create a video on how you can create a wardrobe. So I'm going to bring in a wardrobe right now, and let me open it. Do I have it? Okay, I have wardrobe 2. So I created it before using Revit family. You can see it here. Let me show you how it looks like in 3D. Your own can be better than mine. It's a simple wardrobe that is closed. All of them are closed. I don't want to bother myself opening it, so that I don't want to bother myself to be able to have what is inside. So I decided to close it. And this is a TV. This is a television. You can see I merged these two families together. If you select it now, you see that it is a TV. It's a family on its own, and this is another family. So I merged the two families together. Now I'm going to load it into the project. I have selected that project, which is interior design, which we are working on. Then let it load into the file. Then I'm going to go to that floor. I will bring it in. I can press my space bar to align it properly. Okay, so I will position it here. Now you may be wondering, how did it enter exactly? I actually had it in mind. I measured it before I created it. That is why it's fitting exactly. Okay, so let's look at it in 3D and whether it's something that we will like. Let's look at it in 3D, and I will be using this. You can see it really fitting into the space. Okay, so basically we have done all the necessary design that we need to do in Revit. What else do we need to do else? This. Okay, then the next thing is I can see that this window are too high, that the place to position our curtain, the curtain rim, the curtain pole, there's no place for it. So I'm going to reduce this window. I will select all instances in the entire project. Then I will hit edit. Currently the height of that window is the rough height, the height is 2.4, so I will make it to 2100 mm and hit apply, so that there will be a little gap above the window and the slab. This is where we are going to fix our cutting pole. Okay, so the cutting pole, if you look at this 3D, you will see that the cutting, I don't know what they call this pole that is holding the cutting. You can see it here. So I use the family to create it, and let me load it into this family. If you want to know how the step by step on how I created it, let me know in the comment section. And if you also you want me to send you the file so that you can use it in your own project, let me know in the comment section. Okay, let me look for it. If I cannot see it here, I'm going to, okay, I think this is it here. Zoom to fit. Okay, this is it. Let's look at it in 3D. I use a family to create it. You can see it here. Just bracket, just a simple one. If I have more time, I will add roses to the end, but I don't have time now. That's why I leave the end of it to just be plain. If not, there's supposed to be a little rose at the end of it, something fancy, something design fancy that will be at the top here. Okay, but let's just create something basic. We don't have time for complicated stuff now. So what I will do now is we will load it into the project and make sure that project is selected, and you will load it in, and you will go to the appropriate floor plan, which is the second floor, and you will load it in. And by the way, it is wall based, which means it has to be on the wall. That is the way I created it. If it is not wall based, then you can place it anywhere, but for this particular one, it is wall based. So I have selected it. You can see it does not stay well. It's supposed to cover up the window, so I'm going to select it and edit the length. The length should be, let's say, 2700 mm, and let's see what it will be. Okay, I think it has covered the window correctly now. Then the height, if you select it, you will see now that the elevation is 677.2. the elevation should be at least 2700 mm from the ground, from the floor. Sorry, not from the ground, from the floor. Now it has gone up. So now that it has gone up, let's see, let me create another section that will cut across here so that I will see it in section view. The scale should be 100 mm. The scale should be 100, sorry. Okay, now you can see where that pole is actually sitting. So I will need to bring it down small. Let me bring it down small. Okay, so that one has stayed well. Then we need another one. We need another one that will cut across here, because this is a door and windows together. So we need a cutting around here. so that it is not every time you want to be seen outside. So we need a curtain there, and for the fact that we need a curtain there, we also need a curtain pole there. So I'm going to place another one there. Okay, then I will move it. Sorry for those of you who are into curtain, if I didn't get the name right, forgive me. Okay, so the length of this one, I am going to change the length of this one. You can see what should be the length of this. What should be the length of this? Because let me measure what is remaining so that I can know. Okay, so we need to add at least 600 mm to this. So if I select this one now, I'm going to hit edit. Then I'm going to duplicate it so that it will not affect the first one I created. This one should be 3300 mm, and the length should be 3300 mm, and hit OK. Okay, let's move it. Alright, so that one has stayed well, but the height from the ground is not proper yet. The height from the ground is not proper. It's not staying well. Okay, here it is. Can we align it with this? Let's see whether we can align it with that. Whether we can align the height. Okay, so we have aligned them. Okay, let's see what we have in the 3D. Okay, here we go. Alright, we cannot see the second one because our section box has cut across that. So what I will do is I'm going to drag this one back. Sorry, instead of dragging the section box, I hope I've not, whichever case. So I will select the section box and make sure you pick this node. Okay, then I am going to drag this one. Okay, and then this is where we want to cut across, and let's view it from this side and see what we have created. Okay, it has not actually cut through that place yet where we can see it proper. Okay, we can see it proper now from here. Okay, so that undo that I did before has really affected this, so I need to bring it back. I cannot redo again. I need to go to that section and repeat the aligning process. Okay, so it has gone back to the proper place. Okay, so we have created our cutting pole. Okay, something is not right here. I need to bring this window down a little bit because it's too high. It's going above the cutting pole and it is not proper. So what I'll do is I'll select it. It is a door and window combined together, and I use a family to create it. So I will select the height. The height should be 2700 mm. and I want it to affect the all of that type in this project, and that is why I didn't duplicate it. So I will apply it. Okay, so we now have a little gap between the door window and the POP. This is where we can fix the curtain. Okay, so we are almost done with the design. Then the next thing is this bed. This bed is not interesting. It's not what I want to use in my project. So I am going to remove it. I will remove it. Now depends on if you are using Lumion to render it, then you can import bed from different angles. You can download bed from the internet, from any website that have a 3D, and there are so many of them. I will create a video on that where you can get 3D models that you insert into your interior design. So now that I've modeled it with Revit, now basically what we need are complete now. So the other things we might need, we may not be able to get them with Revit, and that is basically what else. Now the next thing we need now is bed and the decorative features. So those ones will be 3D that we are going to download. We can also get it from, there are some we can get from Lumion. There are some that are already into Lumion that you can get. So make sure you get my Lumion tutorial here so that you also know how to use Lumion as well. Okay, quickly let me tell you how you can get 3D models. To get 3D models, there are several ways you can do that. To do that, you just search for Design Connect or Design Connected, I think so, yeah. Okay, designconnected.com. so you just select anyone that come and make sure you are connected to the internet, and you can see they have some that are paid, some are paid, and they also have free ones. If you want to see those ones that are paid, you will see them here. Then if you want to see the free ones, it depends on what you are looking for. Let's say I'm looking for bed. Let's say if I type bed, I'm looking for bed. Okay, now you can see different types of bed, but these beds are not free. You can see interesting bed, so you can download them and you can pay and download. But if you want to get the free ones, then you go to freebies. Simply go to freebies. I'm not sure if you get bed here, but there are interesting models that you can see here and use. There are some models that I've picked from here and use in my 3D, so you can pick anyone from here that you may like, and these ones are free. Then there is another site that you can get your 3D model. You can simply search on Google, let's say bed model download, and I'll press enter. Okay, we have a turbo speed, we have CG Trader, so many of them. So you can download it from any of these websites if you are using Lumion. But if you are not using Lumion, if you are using Revit, then you may have to do with the bed that come with Revit, or you look for a Revit file on the internet. I don't know how you are going to get that, but I normally render my own with Lumion, so I don't have a problem with that. Okay, so that is where I am going to stop this video, because I'm already done with how to design. What is left now is what we will be doing in Lumion, and we will be taking that in the Lumion tutorial. If you benefited something from this video, there are a few things I want you to do. Number one, on that video you are watching, you are going to see a like button here. Just click on this like button and you will see subscribe button. You hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Then by the side you are going to see a notification bell. Just click on it and select all. If you do this, once I upload any new video, you will be updated that Arctim Consult has uploaded a video, and you will take a look, and if it's something that you can benefit from it, you will watch it. Then there is another thing that is here. You see share button. With this button, you can share this knowledge with a friend who will benefit from it. Then you can also share it on your social media profile, so that any day you want to refer to this particular video, you will not forget it, that hey, I saw one video that helped me the other day, how can I get it again? There will be nothing like that. So you share it on your social media like Facebook or Twitter, any of them. Then the other thing I will want you to do is you go to arctimconsult.com. Just type on your browser arctimconsult.com. I'm going to leave the link in the description of this video, and in any page you are going to go to the footer area and you see Revit/Lumion tutorial here. You simply click on it and it will take you to where you can enroll for my Revit and Lumion tutorial. If you go down, you see where you can enroll here. If you are in Nigeria, you can click on this button and you will be able to enroll here. Then if you are not from Nigeria, you can click on this button and it will take you to PayPal, where you can pay for the course and enroll for it. There are several options here. This one is for Revit tutorial only, and this one is for Revit and Lumion, so you can choose whatever you want. Then on that same website, you can also choose to order it on Udemy. Now these ones are on Udemy, so if it is that one that appeals to you, you can get it on Udemy. I have made it a point of duty that when the comments on any video reaches 100, I am going to be giving somebody free access to any of my courses. So all you need to do to gain free access to my course is you simply come down and make your comments. You can make a comment of what you benefited from this course, from this training, and when I see that the comment section reaches 100, I am going to be selecting somebody randomly to give him free access to my courses. All right, keep making your comments, and see you in the next video. Bye.